and welcome to another day in the Milky Way. And tonight we got a great show for you. Hawkeye is running a little bit late, but that won't stop us. But, you know, even though we're a few minutes late, we always let you guys talk and chat for a little bit and get to going. But I hope you're all doing well. Big shout out to Elderberry. He's there. He says, hiya, hiya, hiya. Sunset Dreamer, thank you for coming. We got all these new little crown things. I don't know what they're for or how you got them, but I want to give me one. Joanne Dancing Gypsy and Nina the Mystic, thank you for being here. See, and I got my new Milky Way Soul Tribe t-shirt. You can get yours by just clicking on the Streamlabs right here. Go to Nina the Mystic merch and pick out your short shirt right here. It says Milky Way Soul Tribe with the important thing that says be the frequency you want to receive, everybody. Joanne Dancing Gypsy. Jojo, thank you for coming. It's another day in the Milky Way. Hot diggity dog. Anyway, yeah, there's Chloe. Hey, Chloe, how you doing? Yep, Nina's got 3 new ones, one for R. Wayne Steiger, one for the Beyond Truth, and of course, Milky Way Soul Tribe. So get all 3. I did. Anyway, so that's all good. What's up? Oh, yeah. Anyway, I want to say a big shout out to everybody, and let's see what else is going on here. Waiting for Hawkeye. Might just start without him. He's waking up, getting himself a cup of coffee. He's taking a little snooze because he's, you know, he had his eye surgery and things like that. You know, that takes a lot out of you. So send him some love, and he will link to our Rumble. Yes, we are on Beyond Belief. Me and Nina have started a new show. It's called Beyond Belief, everyone. So if you're watching this now or later, it doesn't matter. You can go over to Rumble and you can subscribe to Nina's show over there, which will be Beyond Belief. And you can watch our show over there where we say some pretty dicey things that YouTube would probably ban us for. So, or Beyond Truth, Beyond Belief. What am I thinking? It's hot. My brain ain't functioning. Beyond Truth. Beyond Belief. What am I? Oh, boy. Beyond Truth, everybody. Sorry. Either way, it still works. Trying to wing it is always a hard one. But anyway, not belief. Beyond Truth. It is Beyond Belief that I can't remember Beyond Truth. But I knew it was beyond something. Beyond. Wait until I get my shirt for it. Then I'll remember it. Beyond Truth. Anyway, join us over there. Go over there to, oh yeah, it's Happy Canada Day. Happy Canada Day for all you Canadians. And Nina's a Canadian. Max Vision's a Canadian. Who else is a Canadian? So just tune in for that and celebrate Canada Day. I didn't even know what the Canadian song is, but it's got to be something out there. Check that all out. Maybe one of these days we'll do some Wild West shows about Canada because they were just about as important as the United States itself. Still don't know where you're getting all these little crowns. That's pretty cool. It's all good. Anyway, there's Witchy Moon. Yeah. Oh, Canada. Oh, there's Pearl. Pearl, when can I come on the show again? Pearl, we got to have you on the show again. Oh, my goodness. That's right. Maybe we'll have to just do a special show for you, Pearl, because you're special and, you know, it'll be a whole show. That's what I like. You know, you just let me know. Send me an email when you have some free time, and we'll try to schedule it up. How's that? I will email you. I will do that tonight while we're doing the show. Anyway, we're going to talk about William Sublette. He's the guy in the background here. And of course, he is known for a lot of things. So tonight we're going to talk about William Sublette. They called themselves mountain man, wild-eyed loners with rifles in one hand and a knife in the other, just like out of the movies, surviving on their guts and luck in raw wilderness. Most of them lived fast and died young and left behind campfire stories soaked in blood and bear grease. But every now and then, one of them thought differently. They were smarter than the rest, I think. Tonight, we'll be telling the story of William Lewis Sublette. Now, not the loudest and not the most violent, but maybe smartest man to ever walk the untamed West. He didn't just fight to survive. He figured out how to organize it. That's a man with brains. And this man looked at the chaos of the Rockies, the danger of the plains, and the madness of trapping, and said, there's got to be a better way to do this. And while others were skinning beaver and dodging arrows, Sublette was building supply chains. He helped create the rendezvous system, a mobile trading empire on horseback, where trappers, tribes, and traders met in the middle of nowhere and just turned raw furs into profit and power. But his greatest achievement came in 1830 when they told him it couldn't be done. The wagons would never survive the mountains, but Sublette ignored the doubters. He loaded up 10 wagons with powder, whiskey, and gear. He pointed them towards the Rockies and made it through the South Pass. Oxen, wagon, done. That one trip opened the gate for the Oregon Trail and the California migration and the very idea that America could stretch from sea to shining sea. Sublette didn't shout about it. He didn't brag. He let the wagon wheels do the talking. He wasn't a mountain man. He was a tactician, a builder, and a quiet legend. So tonight we shine our campfire light on the man who built the West, William Sublette. Well, and there you go. That's our guy we're going to be talking about. So let's see. What is the chat saying? Miss Pearl says, hi, everyone. Yeah, Miss Pearl, we're going to get you on the show. Hit the XP and see. What's XP? I don't know what XP is. Anyway, it's all good. You earn by you earn by commenting. Well, how about that? Well, comment away. I love it. Number one commenter. You earn by commenting. Good deal. And well, here comes Hawkeye. And here he goes. Purple Crown XP. There you go. Hey, and welcome to the show, my co-host, Hawkeye.
Better late than never. You know, us old people, we need our sleep.
Hey, that's why you got cell phones, so I can wake you up.
Yep.
Anyway.
So how are you? Blessings to everyone, as always. And I know the show's already started, but, you know, I and we always greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator. So thank you for showing up.
Yeah.
And I got a story tonight is the first the Indian Cinderella.
Ooh, yeah. I already got pulled up.
Do you now?
Yes, I do. I'm right on top of things tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm having a problem with my new glasses.
Oh no.
Both eyes are done.
They're done, but can you see?
Yeah, and sometimes it takes a little bit to get the focus just right. So it's like, I can see, but wait a minute, what does that say? Blink, blink. Oh, there it is.
Chloe says, there's Witchy Moon. Chloe says, are you reading without your glasses now?
Yeah, actually, the glasses are being more of a pain in the neck.
Really?
Yeah, I they're not in the right place. It's actually made my reading worse. So I've got to get used to this. But I went to the eye doctor the other day, last week, and both eyes have good pressure, and it means that the left eye, the sutures on the inside are doing well, and I have to keep doing drops for like the next month. I don't care. The as bright as everything is now.
Yeah.
I just got to get used to the focusing thing. So, but anyway.
Well, there you go. That's nice. That is nice. In a little while, you'll be all healed up and everything will be great. Anyhow, we're talking about William Sublette, and how he was the guy who said, when they said it can't be done, he said, I can do that. I think he was he was a smart man, and I think he was a businessman, more or less, what I got out of it all. So that's kind of how it goes for him. Let's see. Where's my notes? Let's see. So he did the first rendezvous. They were doing rendezvous, and they were bringing stuff out with wagons, or not with wagons, with mules, and he brought wagons, and everybody said no, it can't be done, but he did it anyway, and he successfully did it. And that he broke the trail and found the passes that led to the Oregon Trail being formed. That's why he's so important. So what about the story of William Sublette? Let me take this down and put this yeah, okay. And then I can and then we're set. Sorry about the delay, people, but when you're doing stuff, you gotta do stuff. Anyway, there's Elberry says hiya, Hawkeye.
Howdy.
Anyhow, okay, let's see where we go from here. Oop, wrong button. Boy, my buttons today are just not good. Okay, so we got William Sublette, how he built the trail west. Now here's a story. In 1830, wagon train through the South Pass, a gamble that changed history. In the spring of 1830, William Sublette made a decision that many thought was crazy. He was going to take fully loaded wagons through the Rocky Mountains. At that time, it was believed that wagons, heavy and cumbersome and built for open plains, could never survive the steep, rugged passes of the Rockies. Mules and pack horses, sure, but wagons? No. Everybody thought he was mad. But Sublette wasn't just a trapper. He was a strategist, and he studied the route through the South Pass, a wide, gentle sloping break in the Continental Divide in present-day Wyoming. Earlier expeditions had used it on foot and horseback, but no one had ever attempted to haul full-size freight wagons through it. So Sublette loaded up 10 wagons, each pulled by oxen and stacked with trade goods, traps, rifles, powder, food. Where's he going? His destination? The Green River Rendezvous, where dozens of trappers were waiting to trade their hard-earned pelts for supplies. This trail was brutal. The Platte River crossing that was deep and it was cold. The wagon wheels broke on sharp rocks. Rattlesnakes were constant threats. Indian war parties shadowed their movement. The oxen grew tired, and there were points when the trail narrowed so much they had to lift and slide the wagons around cliff faces by hand. But Sublette and his men pushed forward, refusing to turn back. That just tells you how tough people were back then. When they finally reached the Green River rendezvous, they rolled in with their wagons still intact, like a mobile trading post from the east. The trappers were stunned, and the native tribes were curious, and the other fur companies took notice. Sublette had just proven it could be done. This wasn't a victory for him. It was a turning point in American history. His successful journey opened up the way to the future immigrant wagons going to the Oregon Trail settlers, Mormon pioneers, and the California gold seekers. All of them, knowingly or not, followed the tracks Sublette laid down. So that's what he's most famous for. And there's Merry Winds.
And which also means that, hi, Mary, that he was able to take the goods back as well. You know, he didn't just make it out there, he made it back.
Yes.
You know, that was that return trip. And just to, if you could have seen the pictures, and there are some, to where in order to go through the pass and some of those places that they hadn't really smoothed out, they had block and tackles and a lot of rope. And they would literally lift these wagons, they'd go up above, cut a tree down or something, hang it over the side of the cliff, drop the rope down, tie it around, and then they'd lift it up and boom it up and to get it over the cliffs and the faces and stuff. It was amazing what they did. Yeah, they made it through the pass, but in some places they had to really work to get those wagons over the hump.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you definitely know it. See, here's South Pass right here. And, he had to get through South Pass to go to the rendezvous. And let's see, 1826, let's look for the 1831 here, wherever it may be, but it was 1829, 1830. So he had to go up through here, all the way up into here to Green River. Wow. Now that's a journey, I tell you. And then these other ones, holy cow. This is really through the mountains. And then you don't have to just go through the mountains. You have Indians out there. You got natives that will, take your stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep, and take a pot shot at you,
Yeah. And you can see from this one here, South Pass. Once he found this, that opened up the trail all the way to Oregon. That's where everybody wanted to go, over here to Oregon. And, of course, that's where the Indians lived that we talked about before. The Nez Perce were over there and in the Walla Walla Valley. And that's, was a great valley, and they wanted to settle that. But most people wanted to live on the coast. That's the thing. The coast was everything. And then, so this opened up a lot. That South Pass was the thing. And once they figured out how to get there, and like you said, if they had to move the wagon, these people really worked. That's all I can say. They didn't sit around. They worked.
They worked a lot.
Yeah. They didn't, it wasn't just fun and games. You were walking, you were moving, and then you had wagons with wheels made out of wood and with a metal band wrapped around it. And, you hit a rock with that, too hard, just breaks. It looks tough and it's heavy, and it breaks, and then you got to put another one on, and it's not fun. Those things are heavy. You need multiple people, and you need to jack up the wagon, and the wagon's got stuff in it. And you don't have those nice hydraulic jacks that we have nowadays. You have screw jacks and people bracing themselves and winches and who knows what else to get that wagon up and hold it there while you try to put a wheel on it, throw some grease on it because you don't have ball bearings. You got just some metal pieces on a wood shaft.
Yeah.
That's the tough part. But anyway.
And the inside of the wheel was just carved out, you know.
Yeah.
It was the wheel itself, the hub, it was just wooden. And
yes.
so, you know, and the fact that things have held together as well as they did is a testament to wagon makers, you know. And with the bigger wagon trains later on, they actually would hire on a carpenter.
Really?
Yeah, because there would be if there was 20 wagons, was there anybody there that could fix a wagon wheel? Nope. Well, we need to go find one then.
Yeah. Did you bring a spare? Oh boy. Well, this guy wasn't even that old. He was born in 1799 in Kentucky, Stanford, Kentucky. And he lived to 1845. And he died, believe it or not, July 23rd, 1845 in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is quite a ways away from the wild, wild west out there. How did this guy even get to the west? That's the thing. How did he get there? Well, William was born in Kentucky, but raised in Missouri, a frontier state at the time and a hotbed for Western expansion. Yeah, because everything left out of St. Louis, and we can see it by this map right here. See St. Louis. So he's in Missouri, and all the wagons are going through St. Louis or Independence, one or the other. And off they go out west. It was a wild frontier. Anyway, his family was large and would play a significant role in the fur trade history. So he had a background of all of this. Several of his brothers, like Milton Sublette, who became trappers and traders. William had a knack for wilderness survival, but also for organizing leadership and logistics, which is really important if you're going to take 10 wagons out to, through the pass and go to the rendezvous. And those kind of qualities made him stand out among all the other rugged individuals. Remember how we were talking about Fitzpatrick last week, and how if you could count and you could read and write, you moved up the ranks really fast. Well, I bet you he could read and write. In 1823, he joined William H. Ashley's expedition, famously known as Ashley's 100. Now, we've talked about Ashley's 100 before, and all the guys that are famous came out of that Ashley's 100. Everybody from Fitzpatrick to Bridger to, all of those big hoop-de-doo guys. They were all part of that trapper expedition for the Rocky Mountains. They were hardcore mountain men. They were hired to trap in the mountains, in the Rocky Mountains, of course. Sublette, he quickly distinguished himself for his dependability, his toughness, and mind for business. He wasn't just interested in trapping beaver. He was interested in building a fur empire. He had things on his mind. But in the mid-1820s, Ashley began phasing out the fur business and sold his interest to the newly formed Rocky Mountain Fur Company. Now, remember, last time we talked about the Rocky Mountain Fur Company, and we talked about all these people who were a part of that Ashley's 100, took their money and they bought into that, buying the company. Alongside him was people like Jedediah Smith, David Jackson, Thomas Fitzpatrick, and they all became co-owners of this company in 1826. the company revolutionized fur trade with something new, the rendezvous system. Instead of sending trappers all the way back to St. Louis with their pelts, which took months to get there, they had to go 1,500 miles to get back to St. Louis, sometimes more. Well, Sublette and his partners, they organized annual rendezvous in the mountains where the trappers could sell their furs and buy supplies, rest up, kind of frontier festival. They turned fur trade into a more mobile, efficient, and profitable business. Well, Sublette, he was a key figure in organizing these massive logistic operations, making sure the wagons, weapons, powder, whiskey, and traps, and trade goods all got to the right place at the right time, and back out with thousands of dollars worth of pelts. That was the big trade-off, pelts. These guys worked forever on it, got little next to nothing for it. They traded for some traps, goods, had some fun, and he went back, sold them all off, made tons of money. But
well, at the time they made a fair trade.
They did, yes.
At the rendezvous, I mean, and the rendezvous got to be so important that later on they would even take ladies of the night out there.
Yep.
There'd be a wagon full of prostitutes for the guys, because they provided everything. So, it was a big deal.
Yep. Yeah, it was. It was a real big deal. Well, anyway, as it goes on, the fur trading kind of petered off after a while. Not much longer after 1830, anyway. By 1840, the fur trade was kind of on its way out. So what did he do? Well, he led caravans of wagons from St. Louis all the way to the Wind River, and now the famous South Pass, broad, gentle thing through a pass through the Rockies. This encouraged the western migration, and settlers and families could travel west with their wagons, not just on horseback or foot like they'd been doing. But that single expedition opened up the door for the Oregon Trail, the California Trail, the Mormon migration. All of them followed in Sublette's literally wheel tracks. Anyway, what else did he do? In 1834, him and his associates established Fort William on the Laramie River at a crossroads of the fur routes and native trails. This fort would later become and renamed Fort Laramie. You probably watched a TV show like that. It was one of the most iconic military and trading posts in the American frontier history. And I think wasn't there a TV show back in the day, Laramie or Fort Laramie or something like that?
Yeah, it was called Laramie. Yep. Laramie,
yeah. Well, anyway, Fort Laramie became a key location for trades with the American Indians, resupplying settlers, negotiating treaties, and eventually serving as a U.S. Army outpost. And Sublette's vision helped lay the foundation for it all. Well, after a while, which really ain't too much because, he was only in his 40s or so, after retiring from the fur trade in the 1830s, Sublette moved back to St. Louis, where he became a well-respected businessman and philanthropist. He remained close to the frontier community and continued helping supply expeditions into the West. He died of oh no, poor guy. He died of tuberculosis. I can't say that name.
Tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis. Oh my God, my tongue is tied. I know what it sounds like, but my mouth don't want to make those noises.
Say it with me one more time. Tuberculosis.
Tuberculosis, yeah. At age 45 in 1845. So, poor guy. At 45, you're just getting going, man. And, I didn't one of those famous guys, Doc Holliday, didn't he die of that too?
Right. I was just sitting here thinking about it. if anybody can remember what it was like, if you've ever seen a show or a movie or anything about, with Doc Holliday in it, he was always wheezing and drinking alcohol to cut it down. But back in the day, tuberculosis was nasty.
Yeah.
And some of the that put you in an iron lung and all kinds of goodies, so
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, after he retired, he died in 1845. Um, he wasn't quite as famous as Bridger or Hugh Glass. He didn't do anything crazy like that. They didn't really make movies of him, and he didn't really write stories and things like that. It was really actually hard to find much information, pictures of him or anything, because he was kind of the guy in the background, um, you know, doing doing the stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah. But there were some of those movies that were based on true renderings and things, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, there's got to be one of those westerns about going to the Oregon Trail and everything that would have at least mentioned his name, or one of the characters would have been him,
Yeah.
But he did not command a title to his own movie, but
Yeah.
his story has been told absolutely through the Western stories about getting through the Oregon Pass and all of that.
Well, and that's exactly it. I mean, no matter, even though he may have not had his own movie,
Yeah,
his
it
own
was
story,
his name wasn't on the marquee.
yeah, he was in everybody's story. He was in Bridger's story. He was in, Jeremiah's story. He was in, anybody who was famous. He was in the background, setting. If they went to a rendezvous like Kit Carson, well, guess who was putting that on? That was William Sublette. They all knew him. He was just,
And they all knew him.
yeah, he was just the guy in the background making it happen. And they were the guys going out fighting the Indians. They were the guys, doing the trapping and working hard and, staying out all winter in the middle and fighting the Indians, whatever. They're doing the work. He's in the background saying, well, I'll be back next year with another rendezvous. And what do you need for some supplies, man? I'll get it for you, and if you come to St. Louis, I'll hook you up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I take him as that. That's the way I look at him is yeah.
Well, he wasn't that.
Um,
He wasn't in the background. He was in the foreground. He was in the foreground of his business because he started that business. So you say he was in the background, and I understand what you mean, but he was actually in the foreground, because all the way back, and then, and then when he got home, he's got all these furs and everything that he can sell, and they're all going, ooh, and ah, look, you made it back. So, but he was in the foreground for his business. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly. He was out there hauling the wagons, doing the stuff.
they might have been out there trapping and doing, but he was hauling the wagons. That was a tough job. And so
Yeah, I mean, it was just as tough as any other job.
Yep.
I got to give him credit. I mean, he knew how to get places.
He knew how to negotiate.
Yeah, because he had to negotiate. I'm sure he had to negotiate with the natives, because as you know as well as I do, that they don't just let you show up and pass through their territory because you're feeling like it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but there's that's one thing, but also, and you having ridden horses, riding horses, you have to be able to negotiate the trail. You have to be able
Yeah.
to read the trail ahead of you, and so especially the early days, and go, no, there's a great big rock up there. We need to go to the left of it, and so
Yep.
he knew how to negotiate his way through the West. And you go, yeah, well, no, over rocks and down the valleys and through the rivers, and he knew how to negotiate
Yep.
he and his wagons there and back again, and talk to the Indians if need be. So,
Yep.
in my humble opinion, that he was the dude.
Yes. Yes, he was. And that's the thing. We sometimes forget that guy because he is in the background. Just like you don't remember, you don't even know who the guy is that cleans the floors or takes out the garbage when you go to the grocery store. You just go there and go, wow, the floors are clean, the garbage is empty, and all place looks spotless. And you go, wow, this is great. Somebody's doing a good job. But you don't know who that guy is, who's stocking the shelves. You go in there, everything's stocked and clean, and then you buy your stuff and you go away with a good experience. But you don't know who that guy is. Who planned all this? How did they get there? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's kind of how he is. Not that he was stocking shelves or, taking out the garbage. I'm just saying it to that.
But he was stocking the shelves by bringing all of the pelts back.
Yes.
And, when he had to take the pelts out of the wagons and put them somewhere. So, in essence, he was stocking the shelves.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
not as some stock boy. No, he was the manager and owner of the place,
Oh, yeah. No, I totally get that. And you're totally right. Like it says, he's the unsung hero of the day. Excuse me. But yeah, we sometimes forget those guys. And like I said, he'll never probably get a movie made of him because of that. You don't make a movie about the stock boy. You make a movie about the guy who, fights the natives out there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, that's who you make the dashing guy that gets mauled by a bear and lives to tell about it. Everybody wants to hear that story, not about the guy who set up all the wagons and stocked them and drove them out to the rendezvous.
And something also too.
Not that that's not important.
He used oxen, which was different from mules and so forth. And also his wagons were sturdier in order to carry what he needed, and for what he needed to carry out there, and also to what he needed to carry back.
Yeah.
Because he'd end up with, tons of furs from all of the folks that would come there. And it wasn't just furs. There were, the natives did things too. So, but yeah, it was one of the biggest flea markets ever at the time.
Yeah.
And for those of you who have, down here in Florida, they got flea markets that are like gigantous. And I've seen some of them up in Tennessee too. So if you've ever, been to a big flea market, that's what it was. Everybody brought stuff. Everybody had tents and things set up. I mean, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here and kind of, thinking about it and how big. And I've been to powwows that were set up, and there was dancing, and there was, there were chanting. There, people had sage burning, and it was a really big deal.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like, man, I need to go to a powwow. I miss going to a powwow.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Have you ever been to a powwow,
No.
Robert?
No, I have not.
Well, you being up where you're at, you ought to you ought to find one and go to one.
I should, yes, and
Yes,
there should
you
be some
should.
out.
I mean, you know, for even to go and be there for an hour, you would learn so much. You and you
Mhm.
would feel so much in that hour, especially if they were um you know, doing a drum.
Yep, I think it'd be fun. I mean, if I see one, I'm gonna go. I will definitely go. I'll keep you all guys posted because it'll be a interesting day, and I'll definitely film what I can.
Well, but
Hmm.
also too, just especially for you with you know, we're going on 2 years there. We've been doing this, and you know, we're talking about the natives and how much we support them and how much we, you know, but you've never been to a powwow, and I think you're missing out.
Oh, I do. I agree. I mean, I agree. Um, I know they have them, and I remember Nina. She invited me once. She said she was going to take me along, and then she never did. But she said some of those that you got to be a native to get in. You just don't
Yes.
come. I could be a guest. I could be her guest. So anyway, I'm still. If I get the opportunity, I'll be there. It'll be a
Well,
good thing.
you can go onto the internet and look up powwows.com
Oh.
and see where there are, you know, the powwows that are going on in the area. And so,
Mhm.
hi
I know.
Millie, how are you? Nice to meet you too.
I know they have them. Um, I mean, she'd sent me pictures, but I didn't actually get to go. But I'm hoping to one day. Maybe I should put a little pressure out there and like you said, look it up and see what I
Yeah,
can do.
on powwows.com, and the ones that are listed there are open to the public. You
Yeah.
don't have to have, you know, but now there are a lot of other powwows that are private, and I've
Yeah.
been to one of those before. I went all the way to Alabama.
Yeah. 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 Like I said, it's an interesting thing, and I'm hoping that I can get there. Area. There's Mr. Floyd's Universe. I gotta get together with you, Mr. Floyd, and we'll we gotta get the show scheduled up or something one of these days, or do a special recorded show and play it later. Really meaning to do that with you. Um, be all good. Don't you worry. I'll be sending you an email. Maybe we can work out some days here. Um, anyway, before too much time goes by and we forget all about those things. Anyway, let's see what else is there going on. Yeah. Anyway, it's gonna be if I get, like I said, any opportunity I always get. I try to go do that kind of stuff. Like I did go. I went to that native village and some of the museum things, and I should do some more of that. Maybe I should put that on my bucket list this summer to go do some of those things more this year. There's some local ones right around here, museums and stuff. Because I mean, I'm living right in the heart of Indian country.
Right. And
Yeah.
somewhere there's got to be a powwow this summer that is drivable. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yeah. A couple 100 miles away. I know there's a lot of them over north of here a ways, but I'm not privy to all that goes on, and I should pay more attention to that. But if I look for ads, I'll see them in the paper or something, but I haven't seen anything like that. So I will keep my eye open. Let's see. Okay, so anyway, I guess that's all I got on William Sublette. Like I said, there wasn't much. Yeah, Joanne, I need to spread my wings. Yes. Anyway, yeah, I do. I need to get out there and be, what do you call it? More active. But it's hard.
Experience it.
It's hard when you're by yourself and you got all these other things to do. I spread myself thin the way it is. There's work, there's home, there's gardening, there's fixing things, there's horses, and oh, you name it. I got a lot going on. And then, I want to do a trip or something. Holy cow. Yeah. I want to go to the dinosaur museum. They got a dinosaur museum. I want to go to that again. So maybe that was on my things to do. I was hoping to do that soon. Anyway, keep our eyes on it. Yes, thank you, Joanne. Don't worry. When I get some footage and I go, I always record everything, and we'll be playing it here. Well, I guess that's it for me. And next week we'll be having another mountain man. Oh boy, you're gonna like this one. Next week I'm gonna be doing this guy here if I can find his name, because I slipped off the side of my tongue here. And let's see, Thomas, Jim Bridger, Jedediah Smith. Oh, there was that one guy. What the heck was his name? Huh. Anyway. Anyway, I can't remember his name because there's so many of them. But I Googled Ashley's 100, and I swear there's got to be about 50 guys in there that became famous on all of them. It's crazy to think about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we will. Oh, I know where that guy's name is. I had it here a while back, and now I'm trying to remember who it was. Who was this guy here? This guy. James Beckworth. That's who we're going to talk about next week. James Beckworth. He became a Crow chief, believe it or not. He was a black man, too. And he was a trapper. And, he learned to read and write, I think. And then he went out. He was a trapper, an Indian chief, lived out in the wilds of the West. So there you go. Like a Grizzly Adams. That's right. Lucky Grizzly. I love that show. That was a good show. Yeah. Chloe says, I want to do a lot of stuff, but I got to save some funds. You know, Chloe, I tell you what, sometimes the cheapest, being broke, you have the most fun. And when you got some money, it ain't quite as much fun. I don't know why that is. But I've always had the best fun for less. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. Anyway, Millie says she loved that show too. Who didn't love? I don't know why they cut it so short. Anyway, we got, do we have? We have a story tonight. Indian Cinderella. Is that right?
Yep, the Indian Cinderella.
I got a different program this time to play these on, and I don't know if it's better or worse, but I can make the words bigger on here, so maybe people will be able to see it now. Because the last time, in the last program I had, everything was small, but this one's bigger. Yep. Well, he says Hawkeye uses the same medicine cards as Adam. Yes.
And what? So pick out your cards now. I'm shuffling.
Oh boy, pick out your cards, everybody. Yes, Joanne says yes. Good times are practically free. And Mary wants to go rock bounding. Mary, I do not know what rock bounding is. What does that mean? Please describe it better. I don't know what rock bounding means. I mean, you jump on rocks and you jump off of them, or sounds kind of dangerous. Rock bounding.
Does it involve ropes?
Maybe. Oh, rock hounding. Rock hounding. Yeah, where you go pick up rocks. Okay. Well, he's like rabbit, bear, butterfly, frog, and opposite and elk. Interesting. Yep. I'm going with.
I'm not picking them yet, so.
I think I'm going with dolphin and dragonfly this week. Dolphin, dragonfly, and bear. Possum. She says possum.
I don't have a possum. Wait a minute.
Yeah, there's a possum. I
Yes,
did
there is.
possum. I know the cards by now. I can tell you them by heart almost. That's why when people put in something like, a chicken, I say, nope, there is no chicken. Don't worry, Chloe. I got the chat right here and I can scroll back, rewind time. How about that? Magic. And I'm in control of it. Yes.
So we ready for a
Anyway,
story?
I am ready. Are you ready? I got it up. It's all ready to go anytime you are. Can you see it?
Yeah, I don't think my glasses are really doing me any good.
Oh,
Are we ready?
yep. It's all yours.
Okay, my friends. I'm still reading from the Indian books, Glooskap Country, and Other Indian Tales by Cyrus Macmillan, 1922. And this is the next story in the line of stories from this particular book. Now, this story here is called Indian Cinderella. The Indian Cinderella. On the shores of a wide bay on the Atlantic coast, there dwelt in the old times a great Indian warrior. It is said that he had been one of Glooskap's best helpers and friends, and that he had done for him many wonderful deeds. But that no man knows. He had, however, a very wonderful and strange power. He could make himself invisible. He could thus mingle unseen within his enemies and listen to their plots. He was known among the people as Strong Wind, the Invisible. He dwelt with his sister in a tent near the sea, and his sister helped him greatly in his work. Many maidens would have been glad to marry him, and he was much sought after because of his mighty deeds. And it was known that Strongwind would marry the first maiden who could see him as he came home at night. Many made the trial, but it was a long time before one succeeded. Strong Wind used a clever trick to test the truthfulness of all who sought to win him. Each evening, as the day went down, his sister walked on the beach with any girl who wished to make the trial. Excuse me. His sister could always see him, but no one else could see him. And as he came home from work in the twilight, his sister, as she saw him drawing near, would ask the girl who sought him, "Do you see him?" And each girl would falsely answer, "Yes." And his sister would ask, "With what does he draw his sled?" And each girl would answer, "With the hide of a moose." or with a pole, or with a great cord. And then his sister would know that they all had lied, for their answers were mere guesses. And many tried and lied and failed, for strong wind would not marry any who were untruthful. There lived in the village a great chief who had 3 daughters. Their mother had long been dead. One of these was much younger than the others. She was very beautiful and gentle and well beloved by all, and for that reason her older sisters were very jealous of her charms and treated her very cruelly. They clothed her in rags that she might be ugly, and they cut off her long black hair, and they burned her face with coals from the fire that she might be scarred and disfigured. And they lied to their father, telling him that she had done these things to herself. But the young girl was patient and kept her gentle heart and went gladly about her work. Like other girls, the chief's 2 oldest daughters tried to win strong wind and one evening, as the day went down, they walked on the shore with strong wind's sister and waited for his coming. Soon he came home from his day's work, drawing his sled. Then his sister asked as usual, "Do you see him?" And each one, lying, answered, "Yes." And she asked, "Of what is his shoulder strap made?" And each, guessing, said, "Of rawhide." Then they entered the tent where they hoped to see Strong Wind eating his supper. And when he took off his coat and his moccasins, they could see them, but more than these they saw nothing. And Strong Wind knew that they had lied, and he kept himself from their sight, and they went home dismayed. One day the chief's youngest daughter, with her rags and her burnt face, resolved to seek Strong Wind. She patched her clothes with bits of birch bark from the trees, and put on the few little ornaments she possessed, and went forth to try to see the invisible one, as all the other girls of the village had done before. And her sisters laughed at her and called her fool. And as she passed along the road, all the people laughed at her because of her tattered frock and her burnt face. But silently she went her way. Strong Wind's sister received the little girl kindly, and at twilight she took her to the beach. Soon Strong Wind came home drawing his sled, and his sister asked, "Do you see him?" And the girl answered, "No." Then his sister wondered greatly because she spoke the truth. And again she asked, "Do you see him now?" And the girl answered, "Yes, and he is very wonderful." And she asked, "With what does he draw his sled?" And the girl answered, "With the rainbow." And she was much afraid. And she asked further, "Of what is his bowstring?" And the girl answered, "His bowstring is the Milky Way. Then Strong Wind's sister knew that because the girl had spoken the truth at first, her brother had made himself visible to her. And she said, "Truly, you have seen him." And she took her home and bathed her. And all the scars disappeared from her face and body. And her hair grew long and black again, like the raven's wing. And she gave her fine clothes to wear, and many rich ornaments. Then she bade her take the wife's seat in the tent. Soon Strong Wind entered and sat beside her, and called her his bride. The very next day she became his wife, and ever afterwards she helped him to do great deeds. The girl's two elder sisters were very cross, and they wondered greatly at what had taken place. But Strong Wind, who knew of their cruelty, resolved to punish them. Using his great power, he changed them both into aspen trees and rooted them in the earth. And since that day, the leaves of the aspen have always trembled, and they shiver in fear at the approach of Strong Wind. It matters not how softly he comes, for they are still mindful of his great power and anger because of their lies and their cruelty to their sister long ago. The end.
Well, that one
And
was good.
and the next story is going to be the duck with red feet.
Yep.
That should be an interesting story, huh?
Yep.
The duck
Yeah.
with red feet.
Yeah. Well, should have read that one today because it's Canadian. It says far away in the Canadian forest, and it's Canada Day today. So
Oh, is it, eh?
yeah, eh? Oh, them Canadians there. They're up in the UP, eh? Look, he says the duck who chopped off his own head. Maybe that's it. Oh, thank you, Millie. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Thank you, Chloe. Thank you. Thank you, Elderberry. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Let's see. I'm just trying to read through all these things. Anyway, now the cards. Eh? Eh? Eh, dear? Oh, boy.
And the first card is...
Now, if you didn't get your guesses in, better get your guesses in now. First card is coming right up. Trying to bring it up here.
First card up is antelope.
No, nobody guessed antelope. I know.
And the second card up is deer.
Oh, boy. That's weird.
Yeah, really. Knowing what I know about deer, and they're both straight up.
Okay. Now, if we just have bison, it'd be like a whole deer family or moose.
That's interesting. Lizard. Upside down. And
Oh, upside
lizard, he's
down.
got his eyes closed, but he's not sleeping. He's dreaming.
Huh.
And he's dreaming the future. But upside down, I can't remember. Now the next one, and we haven't had this one in a while, is dog.
Oh yeah. I'm not talking a while.
And dog is like is faithfulness, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Boy, this is
Classy.
a strange spread.
Old Yeller.
Yeah, I cried every time I see that movie.
Me too.
I
Oh,
haven't seen it in a while, but
that was such a sad.
stuff like that did happen in the old days, you know, and
And then that's the way things work.
well, God almighty.
Well, I didn't even know there was a dog. Yep, there's a dog.
Yeah, so here are the cards starting from the beginning. I don't think there's any more.
We only got 4 of them tonight?
No, I got 2 more. There's 6.
Oh, okay.
I'm creeping through the end of these. I think I'll be dog. There's 1 more. There's 7 cards for tonight. Okay, I'm done drawing cards. I guess it's because I missed last week. But so the first card is I'm going to just read across what the cards are first, okay? So first off is antelope, right side up. The next card is deer, right side up. A third card is lizard, down. The fourth card is dog, facing down. The next card is fox, facing up. The next card is wolf, facing up.
Oh, well,
And the last card is whale, facing down. This is hard to believe in the process of drawing cards that there are 2 in the deer family kind of thing, and then there are
yeah.
3 canines: dog, fox, wolf.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just what, so there's 2 and 3, as I sit here with the cards spread out, and it's just like, okay.
No possum. Mary says dolphin, hawk, rabbit, mouse, or moose. Let's see. Chloe had Joanne says bear, rabbit, cat, an oak, cricket. There's no crickets. Possum, no. Rabbit, bear, butterfly, frog, opossum, and elk. Real close there, Chloe, but no cigar. All
If
right.
you didn't have a dog in there somewhere or a canine,
Yeah.
So I was looking for the book. So hang on a second, y'all. I'll be with you now. So antelope number 37. Boy, what an interesting spread. There are no other, critters. Nothing's flying. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Antelope is action. Run, antelope, teach me of action and its pace. Quickly, quickly, so I may run with grace. The antelope is action. When time was just beginning and the tribe of man was small, Antelope saw that the two-leggeds were naked and hungry and in danger of extinction. The ancestors would soon vanish from Mother Earth if action were not taken. Antelope took the action and came into the camp, calling all of the two-leggeds together for counsel. The great mystery has sent me to teach you a lesson. The lesson is to do. You have no need to be fearful if you know what to do. And then you do it, the antelope said. And what shall we do? Said the people. If you are naked and cold, you should kill me and take my coat to keep you warm. It is my gift to you. Do it. And if you're hungry, you should kill me and take my meat and cook it. And you should do it. Antelope knew that humankind would survive the Ice Age if the people learned to eat meat. So, in the action of antelope, it signifies action. Antelope is a symbol for the antenna of your hair, which attracts you and attaches you to great mystery by its long cords of light. Looking at antelope, you become aware of your mortality and the short time span you have on this planet. With this in mind, you must act accordingly. Proper action pleases the great mystery. Antelope medicine is knowledge of life's circle. Knowing of death, antelope can truly live. Action is the key and the essence of living. There you go. Now, so action, antelope, action, do it. Think about it and then do it. Deer is what? Number 4. This is way in the front. Deer is one of my favorite. Deer was going up to visit Sacred Mountain, wanted to talk to the Creator, the Great Spirit. And there was a cool and nasty monster that was on the mountain that kept others from coming up the mountain by being cruel and nasty and mean and grr. And but Fawn, Deer just didn't fall for it. And Fawn said gently to the demon, "Please let me pass. I am on my way to see Great Spirit." And Fawn's eyes were filled with love and compassion for this oversized bully of a demon. Much to the demon's dismay, his rock-hard heart began to melt and melted to the size of a walnut. Due to this gentleness and caring that Fawn embodied, the pathway is now clear for all of Great Spirit's children to reach Sacred Mountain. Now, are y'all listening to this? Fawn has opened the pathway, and it's clear for all of Great Spirit's children to reach sacred mountain without having to feel the demons of fear blocking their way. Sacred mountain is open and the demons of fear blocking the way. So there's fawn with striking down fear. The next is lizard, and lizard is all about being in the dream time, as I remember. Um, well, that's interesting. Lizard was right next to antelope, 36 and 37. Antelope is dreaming. And the story is that lizard was under a rock and rattlesnake come by and, hey, lizard, can I share the shade? And lizard said, sure. And snake crawled in and goes, how did you know that I wasn't going to eat you? And lizard said, because I dreamed you. And snake asked him, he said, well, your eyes were closed. You were sleeping. And lizard said, no, I wasn't sleeping. I was dreaming. And I dreamed that you had already eaten a mouse and that therefore you were already full and you weren't going to eat me. So that's why I let you under my rock and into the shade. So in that, lizard medicine is the shadow side of reality where your dreams are reviewed before you decide to manifest them physically. Now that's interesting because antelope said take action to do, and the way is clear, no fear. That's what deer is telling us. And lizard is about the dream time, but it's upside down. If it's been upside down, you may be having a nightmare. Ooh, that's horrible. This is a sign of inner conflict. Well, inner conflict, and deer's trying to tell us, not to fear. So, but if you're trying to settle inner conflict, there's a lot of fear in that. Look to the nightmare for a clue to the nature of the conflict. What are the feelings your nightmare may be causing? Another message of lizard reversed is that you may need more sleep or dream time. It could also imply that you have a lack of dreams for your future. In other words, you just don't know what you're going to do next. You're just sitting around, kind of sort of like me. Imagination is the door to all new ideas and creations. As you examine the dreaming process, you will find that the subconscious is processing all of the recorded messages it holds concerning events that you have experienced through the day. These messages can be suppressed feelings, bringing out inner conflict. All levels of awareness are accessible through dreams. Remember, life is not always as it seems. Are you the dreamer or are you being dreamed? There's a lizard for you. Now, dog is next up, number 14 in the lineup. Oop, it's right there. Yep, I was right. Dog is loyalty. Dog has been considered the servant of humanity throughout history. If a person carries dog medicine, he or she usually serving others or humanity in some way. Here you will find the charity worker, the philanthropist, and the nurse, and the soldier and the minister. Dog was the first servant soldier that guarded the tribe's lodges from surprise attack. In examining dog medicine, you might find that you have fond personal memories of owning and loving a dog as a pet. Now, dog is upside down, but dog is still about loyalty. In the contrary position, dog may be telling you that you have become critical or mean due to the company you are keeping. The reversal of this medicine could also imply that it is time to stop cowering with fear. Now, what did Deer just say? The way is clear, you shouldn't have fear. So there seems to be a bunch of fear in this. And dream time, dream what's going on and look to the future and find out what's going to, what's making you fear the future is the way it looks from here. But Deer says it's open. So if you're dreaming stuff and you got a nightmare that's scaring you into going for the future, that's what it looks like to me. So quit being afraid, right? So Fox is number 25. Fox is camouflage, I believe. Yep. Wow. I'm getting pretty good at remembering here. Fox is camouflage and the fox is straight up. Fox has many allies in the woodlands, including the foliage, which offers protection and much medicine. Fox is seemingly able to vanish amidst the lush undergrowth of the forest. This flora is Fox's ally. The ability to meld into one's surroundings and to be unnoticed is a powerful gift when one is observing the activities of others. Fox. If Fox has chosen to share its medicine with you, it is a sign that you are to become like the wind, which is unseen, yet is able to weave into and through any location or situation. You would be wise to observe the acts of others rather than their words at this time. That's interesting. Observe their actions rather than their words at this time. Use your cunning nature in a positive way. Keep silent about who and what and why you are doing the observing. In learning the art of camouflage, you need to test your abilities to pull this off. So you need to be, that's interesting. Camouflage. It is a sign that you are to become like the wind, which is unseen, yet is able to weave into and through any situation or location. So must mean keep an eye out, right? Much like the clowns at the rodeo, Fox can keep the raging bull from stampeding a friend or a family member. Fox can use silly tactics as a brilliant camouflage, move. No one could guess the sly power behind such an ingenious maneuver. So Fox has lots of ways to camouflage, but be ready to become like the wind. That's the key. Now the next one is wolf. Now there's three canines in a row, which is like I've never had this kind of a spread before. It's not a bad spread. It's just wow, three dogs in a row. With fox and dog and wolf. Ah, now wolf is the teacher. Excuse me. Wolf is the pathfinder, the forerunner of new ideas. New ideas, the dream time with the lizard. You dream the future. Wolf takes only one mate for life and is loyal like the dog. And dog was the first of the three. No, it was second in line of the canines. No, first in line, sorry. In the great star nation, Wolf is represented by the dog star Sirius, which legend tells us was the original home of our teachers in the ancient times. Sirius was thought to be Sirius was thought to be the home of the gods by the ancient Egyptians and is still considered to be so by the Dogon tribe in Africa. And I just saw a program the other day where they discussed that. The senses of Wolf are very keen, and the moon is its power ally. The moon is a symbol for psychic energy or the unconscious that holds the secrets of knowledge and wisdom. Baying at the moon may be an indication of Wolf's desire to connect with new ideas which are just below the surface of the consciousness. If you've drawn Wolf's card, you may be able to share your personal medicine with others. So baying at the moon will teach you. It is in the sharing of great truths that the consciousness of humanity will attain new heights. Wolf could also be telling you to seek out lonely places that will allow you to see your teacher within you. It is the aloneness of a power place, devoid of other humans. You may find the true you. Look for teachings no matter where you are. Wolf would not come to you unless you requested the appearance of the tribe's greatest teacher. So somehow y'all needed the wolf card tonight. And the last card up is whale upside down, number 41, to the back of the book. And I can't remember. That's right. So we just had Wolf as the teacher, and Whale comes in as the record keeper. Whale is very much like a swimming library. Whale carries the history of Mother Earth and is said to have been placed here by the ancients from the dog star Sirius. Now, Wolf was just talking about that, right? So must be something about the dog star Sirius, and it's in the constellation of Scorpio, and it's in the south. I've been watching it. Biologists say that whale is a mammal and very possibly lived on land millions of years ago. In tribal legend, whales moved into the ocean happened when the earth shifted and Lemuria, the motherland, went below the waves. Now, so whale is the record keeper. So there's Wolf is the teacher and whale is the record keeper. But if the whale is upside down, the contrary medicine implies that you are not following your sonar or your own homing device. On some level, you have forgotten that you hold all the answers you need to survive. All the answers to survive, to grow, and to claim the power of your chosen destiny. It may be that you are having to deal with a lot of chatter in your head and cannot get to your personal records. Now, there's a lot of that chatter going on in folks' heads. If so, you may need to use other sounds to enter the silence. Remember whale call. And we as humans, we don't have a call. You know, all other animals have some kind of call or bark or chirp or meow, but humans don't. So you should find your own sound. The drum, wait, you may need to use other sounds to enter the silence. The drum or the rattle, the Indian flute, or the sounds of nature may help you, especially if you live in the city. The call of whale is the lullaby of the tides. Rock yourself gently and float into the world of the sea. Contrary whale is saying that you must desire to know. You can't be frivolous about it. If you want to know the future, then you must desire it. You must seek the whale song within you. And hearing whales call, you will connect to the ancients on a cellular level. And then as you relax into the flow of the song, you will begin to open your unique library of records. It may not come all at once, and it may take practice, but if you hold the desire to know close to your heart, it will be whale's gift to you. Look to the great star nation and send gratitude to Sirius for the song of whale. Man, oh man. So, coming up here, Antelope says do it, and Deer says don't fear it. Lizard said if you're dreaming it, bring it to the future. And Dog is like, be loyal about it. And Fox, use the camouflage and listen and watch. That's interesting. Listen, watch rather than listen to the words. And Wolf is the teacher. We need to spread what we know, and with Whale, by all means, if we all desire to know what our future is, you got to want it in your heart. So these aren't bad cards. It's an interesting spread, though.
Yep.
This is not a warning of any way. This is a lesson on how to become you.
Yep.
Each one of you. This is a lesson on how you can become a better you by following, these cards here. Yep, the whale song, the sound of the wolf. Yep, keep it in your heart.
That's right.
And remember, Deer has cleared the way. Fear seems to be in the way a lot. That's what the upside down dog is too, is about fear. So whatever it is folks are fearing, you gotta stand up and face it and figure your way through it.
That's right.
Just like the guy we were talking about tonight, when I was saying that he was able to um, figure out his way going through the boulders and making it through the pass and everything. Life is like that for a lot of us. And so, being able to, navigate everyday life is sometimes difficult, but if like deer, you don't have any fear, the way is clear. Might be bumpy, but the way is clear. And if you have faith, so whatever's coming up in your life, be strong.
That's right. That's right. Things come up. We want them to or not.
Yeah, this is good information. It's positive,
Yeah.
And antelope right out of the batch is saying to, be strong, take action. That's a good one.
Yep.
So, nothing negative, even with the upside down cards. There's nothing negative here. So that coming into the 4th of July, I think that's good news.
Yeah.
I mean, so people don't have to worry about stuff, and it might be a time of, somebody needs to go spend some time in Mother Nature.
Yep.
Fireworks.
No, I get it. I get it. Well, yeah, 4th of July is coming up. The anniversary of Brian passing away is coming up too. I think he died on the 3rd.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I don't remember the date.
Yeah, Isby too. I think he died around the same time. So, yeah, it's kind of sad. We'll have to do a remembrance show or something. Maybe you want to join me on that, huh?
Yeah, especially since I knew them both.
Yeah.
I broke
we're still here.
I broke bread with Isby here at the house twice. You came to visit me twice.
Nice.
And so, I actually got to meet Isby rather than just being, over the internet. So, man, I didn't get a chance to meet Brian though, not in person. So,
yeah, I know. He was one of those guys I would have liked to meet.
Yep, me too.
So, anyway, well, this was a shorter show, but that's all right. Wrapping it up a little bit early tonight. We did all our stuff, cards, story, information. We'll be back next week, of course. Don't forget to join me on Saturday night, where we're beginning to do more Manly P. Hall. Also, I've been putting up some shows on the Stupid Talk and Stupid Talk Daily. So don't forget to go over there and check that out. Plus, go get yourself a Milky Way Soul Tribe, a shirt that says, be the frequency you want to receive on it. And Nina make these up special just because they said, be the frequency you want to receive. And I like that. I think that's an important thing to follow. Don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, it's not the most colorful shirt. It really doesn't say a whole lot. I just want it to be so that you can see be the frequency you want to receive. It means a lot. It means a lot, as we say here all the time. With that, you got a show tonight?
Maybe if my phone's charged.
Okay. All right, maybe a show tonight, and I'm heading off. I'm going to head off to bed. I got to go to work tomorrow. So with all of that, everybody, go out and do something nice for your neighbor, somebody else. I see some of you guys wanting to get together. Get together. Share the love. Spread the love. Just like Mary Wynn says, she says, love one. And there you go. Love one. Just remember that. So
very much, and cosmic hugs, everyone. And if you're into barbecuing, it is the 4th of July. You don't have to follow, I got to go out, but do it for fun.
Yeah.
Have a barbecue for fun, not because somebody told you to. So
yeah,
thank
remember,
you, Mary.
That's right. And don't put firecrackers in your hand and light them off. Stay the heck away. I want everybody to come back with all their fingers.
Or point them at anyone.
Yeah, that's just as bad. Because when they go off, they could bust your eardrums, blow off your fingers, things like that. I know you people out there that are listening are probably old enough to know better, but, tell the kids, spread the love, tell the kids, act like an adult and say, don't do this, people. Because you know what the most important thing is that 4th of July is here. We celebrate our independence, and we want to be the frequency we want to receive. With that, everyone, love you all. Peace, everybody.
Cheers.